everyone. Welcome back to the Locker Room Chat. My name is John Williams, and we are back. And my guest tonight is the new head coach, football coach of the Clinton Middle School Hawks, Ronnie Miller. And Ronnie, thank you for being here, and welcome to the chat.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
And Ronnie is taking over the reins for the Clinton Middle School Hawks this year, taking over for Brandon Ward, who coached last year for Clinton Middle. He was there for 1 year, but Coach Miller is coming on board to bring the Hawks up to the winning tradition. I believe that's the slogan there on the schedule y'all got out, and started a winning tradition. And Clinton Middle School's got a lot of tradition going back to Clinton Junior High, and I'm sure you played there, and your brothers and all coming up. But once again, we are back, the Locker Room Chat. Thank you for tuning in. We've been gone for about 2 months, so take a little sabbatical, a little R&R, recharge your batteries, and the phone lines are open, as you see there, 865-483-8112, and we always welcome your calls if you have a question or comment for Coach Miller or myself. But right now, Ronnie, man, there's a lot going on. Football is here pretty much right around the corner. I know y'all open up in about 2 weeks, so it's really exciting time.
It is. Yeah, we the middle school in our conference, we start early. So we'll actually have our third game in before Clinton High School even takes the field for the first time. So, but it's here, and my favorite time of year.
You got a new turf coming in for Clinton High School, putting new turf down. But August 19th, I believe you're kicking it off against August 5th is actually our first game.
August 5th. August 5th will be our first game. It's here in Robertsville in Oak Ridge, and then our first home game is the 19th, and that'll be at home against. I've just completely gone blank. Spring City. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, I was thinking of high school for as August 19th.
That'll be their first week.
Yeah, about a month from now, Oak Ridge will be hosting South Dole in a rematch of last year's Class 5A state semifinal game. I think also on that Thursday night, Gatlinburg's playing Seymour. So, high school football is here. Middle school football, we got volleyball getting ready to crank up. Also, I think girls soccer. I think it's played in the fall as well. So, just exciting time. Just a lot of things going on here. Don't really know where to start, but we're back here. We've been off, as I mentioned, about 2 months, and we're glad to be back. And Brad Jones has got some big things planned for us this year. We've got a new producer in the back. It's his son, Chandler. Chandler Jones is taking over for Dylan Russell. So Chandler pushing all the buttons and the bells back there to make this happen. And we just thank everyone for tuning in. I'd like to, starting before we get to Coach Miller, Coach Ronnie Miller, I'd like to look back at some things that have happened since we've been gone. When we left about mid-May, we were right in the middle of spring fling, and we had the baseball going on, softball, all the sports there going on in Murfreesboro, and we had a couple of local teams that did well. We didn't have any that made the state, but when I say local, I'm talking about in the Roane, Anderson, Morgan area or viewing area. But we had Oliver Springs girls. They advanced to the state sectionals. They were lost to North Green. Had to travel there after losing a close game to Sale Creek in the region. They ended up, I think, 24-4 on the season. The Lady Bobcats, outstanding season for Coach Matt Hedden and his girls. Also on the boys' side in baseball, Cofield, led by head coach Andy Lau, they advanced as well to the state sectionals. They ended up winning their region and got to host the sectionals. However, they were on the wrong side of the score against North Green as well. But Cofield Yellow Jacket baseball won the district this year. Ended up losing the tournament, but bounced back to win the region. But just looking at those teams, and it's interesting as well as you look across the area on the baseball and softball side. You had two teams out of Knoxville. There were only two teams really to advance to Murfreesboro in the spring fling. You had the girls, you had the Gibbs boys winning the 2A baseball state championship, their first in about 10 years. And you also had Farragut boys there as well. They bowed out, but in the AAA, but the same two teams in softball as well. You had the Farragut girls, they went on to win the state in softball in AAA, while the Gibbs girls made it to the AA state, made a good run there, but that's pretty interesting there. Farragut and girls, both boys and girls advancing to the state. Just looking at some other things that has happened here high school wise while we've been away. There have been some new coaches hired as well. Not only yourself there at Clinton Middle School football. On the other football side, we got Jimmy May from Oneida taking over for Coach Lambert there, a longtime coach with the Oneida Indians. Jimmy May, he was a co-coach there at Oneida from 95 to 04. Also in football, out of Cofield High School, Benson Napier taking over there for Cofield. Tragic what happened to them over the end of the season there, towards the end, passing of their coaches and a couple. So Coach Henry and his brother as well. So it's sad there. It's tragic there, but Benson Napier's coming in to take over for Coach Henry, and big shoes to fill there. I think Benson's about 25, maybe he might be 26 years old now. So
I got to play golf with him several weeks ago, and got to meet him. Great guy, but he's young, and he's got his work cut out for him, following a legend like Coach Henry was, for sure.
Right, he may be the youngest coach in the state. I'm not sure, but close to it, I'm sure.
I'm sure, yeah.
Also, Catholic hired a new football coach, Corey Mobbs. He come from Middle Tennessee area, I believe, to take over there at Catholic. Some other sports in softball, Wendy Johnson's taking over as head coach at Kingston, and also recently Oak Ridge High School has hired a new softball coach as well. That would be Coach Lisa Shipley. So congratulations to Wendy Johnson at Kingston and Lisa Shipley at Oak Ridge. Also in baseball, some new coaches as well. Or at least one has been hired at Anderson County. Josh Boynton, longtime assistant coach there for Coach Downs and Coach Stooksbury. I think Coach Boynton had been in Anderson County helping for about 14 years. So he's taken over the Mavericks next season, and I'm glad he got that job. I was hoping he got that. He's a hard worker, and he'll be a great hire there for Anderson County, I believe. Also in basketball, a former Anderson County assistant, Jason Kitts, is taking over the head coach for Campbell County. So that's on the girls' side. But Coach Kitts, he'll be taking over the Lady Cougars. And I believe that's about it for the new coaches that I know of in our viewing area. Looking at some local athletes in track, I'd like to recognize some of the athletes that made it to the spring fling. Kingston had a pair of track student athletes that qualified. You had Logan Babb, he's a junior at Kingston. He finished 4th in the 110-meter hurdles. Also from Kingston, a senior, Anthony Sanchez, in the 3200. And from Sunbright, there was a young man, he was an 8th grader, Jonah Frills, that qualified for the state.
Wow.
So just an 8th grader at Sunbright. He ended up 9th in the 300-meter hurdles. So hats off to Jonah Frills. I'm sure we'll be calling his name out here as he goes into his high school career. Also, some all-state performers. Tennessee Sports Writers Association announced recently their all-state performers, and we had two that I know of that I could find. One from Oak Ridge in track, Trent Howe. He was a senior this past year, and he participated in the discus, and he finished third in the state. And Trent Howe making all-state in track, and girls softball, Anderson County Mackenzie Henderson. You know Mackenzie?
Oh, yeah.
A catcher for Anderson County. She made the girls all-state team for the Tennessee Sports Writers Association. She's just a junior, so she'll be back next year. And Mackenzie had an outstanding season, set the RBI record in Anderson County. So congratulations to those student athletes, Trent Howe and Mackenzie Henderson. So a lot going on here. Coach Miller also, while we've been away, the College World Series, that was big news. Tennessee going out to Omaha and played 2 games, just played 2, but it was still, pretty exciting times there for the ball baseball.
Yeah, for sure. And I know they were disappointed, and a lot of us were disappointed they didn't get any farther, but what an exciting year it was for UT baseball. It was just great to be a part of, and us UT fans have had a lot of disappointment over the past several years, so it was something else to grab a hold of and cheer for. So that was an exciting year, and it looks like a lot of them are coming back. So hopefully the future's looking good.
Exactly. I got to go out there, and it was really fun, and just being around all the fans, just the different fans from different teams.
Oh, yeah. And great experience, I bet.
It was just great to be there, and also. This NIL, naming, image, and likeness, it's a lot of meat on the bone for that. I don't know if we want to tackle that, but
yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? Just college sports, name, image, and likeness, NIL.
I think the student athletes that are taking advantage of it and have the ability to make money off of that, I can't fault them. I'm glad for them. I have a son that's a college athlete right now, and I hope he can make some money off of his name, image, and likeness. But at the same time, I think they better get some regulations in place, or I think it's going to be the haves and have-nots have been in college sports for a long time, but I'm afraid this may even make it a little bit more so obvious. So I'm hoping that NCAA catches up and tries to put some regulations in place to at least have some guidance for these kids. But I saw on the news today, I think the Alabama quarterback, who hasn't even started yet, hadn't played a game, and Nick Saban said he's making close to 7 digits. Can't blame the kid for that, but it's kind of scary. It really is.
Right. It's a whole new world in college sports than when we grew up now. For about anybody, really. It's just heard Coach Saban talking today. They had him at the SEC Media Days, and he's just like uncharted waters. He said what he says today, next year, you go back and listen to it, it'll probably be totally wrong what he's saying. But but I agree with you. I think the kids should be paid. You should look at all the salaries that these coaches are making, even the administrators, and they're making a lot of money, and the players are a big part of their success. Mm-hmm. And I think they should be paid, but they've gone all in with this NIL, so it's wide open. It's gonna change college sports. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. As you mentioned, it's been going on. It just hasn't been named NIL. I'm sure it's for years players getting monetary benefits and stuff.
No, that doesn't happen.
But right now, it's all on the table, and some breaking news come out today that, I don't know if it's breaking news, but Texas and Oklahoma, it's reported they want to join the SEC. in
Oh, yeah?
football,
I
or I
hadn't heard
guess in
that.
all sports, but mainly it was talking about in football. So, that would be a 16-team super conference, and we've heard that over the years, leading up. Eventually it's going to be a super conference, and I think you might see that now with this NIL coming out and these kids signing money coming in. So it's going to change. I don't know if it's a good thing or it's going to be interesting, but to see the dynamics of it,
Yeah.
of the players, that have sign a big contract, like you said, for Alabama, the quarterback coming in, and how the other players will respond to that.
Yeah. It's and like Coach Saban said, it's always changing. So what we're talking about today could change 6 months from now or next season. So the teams and the staffs that are willing and able and ready to change and go with it are going to be the ones that stay ahead. So hopefully.
They're saying it might even the playing field maybe a little bit. And I've also heard that it might widen the gap. So
Yeah.
it'll be
Guess we'll
interesting
see.
to see.
We'll see, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Coach Heupel at Tennessee is all in on it. So Tennessee's got some money or boosters or whatever. These kids, the son, whatever. They got money to throw
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
So
Well, maybe you can get you a college athlete to help. You can pay him to sponsor your sports show.
we'll ask Brad about that.
Yeah, see if we got any money to pay one of those guys to come over here.
Yeah, I'll have to get him on that. I'm just trying to get him to give me a Christmas bonus.
Oh, well, I understand. I understand.
But we're going to go ahead and take our first break of the night. Our guest is the Clinton Middle School football head coach, Ronnie Miller, and we'll be back to talk with Ronnie here in a little bit. We'll talk some Hawk football, some Hawk talk. So we'll be right back. You're watching the Locker Room Chat.
Mulch & More in Midtown is your landscaping headquarters. They offer mulch, topsoil, all types of gravel, sand, rock, crab orchard stone, riprap stone, and limestone gravel. Mulch & More does light excavation work. Do you need a driveway repaired? They can do it. Plus, Mulch & More can do your water and sewer lines, French drains, and more with Ditch Witch services. So whether you only need a half cubic yard up to 20 cubic yards, Mulch & More can help you. Give Gary a call today at 865-234-7060 at Mulch & More in Midtown.
Roan Metals Group has been serving East Tennessee for decades. Locally owned and operated with convenient hours of operation, Roan Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing's too big or too small. Still have that clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Roan Metals Group are specialists in industrial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Roan Metals urges you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers, a member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Roan Metals Group. Turn that scrap into cash.
Muncie Pharmacy is your locally owned hometown pharmacy. They accept most insurances, so why go to the large chain pharmacies when you get better customer service at Muncie Pharmacy? Have a special prescription that needs compounding? Muncie Pharmacy can handle those needs as well. Muncie Pharmacy has a drive-through for your convenience and offers free delivery in the Oak Ridge area. And don't forget the gifts that we have available for all occasions.
Here at Muncie Pharmacy, we take the time to know you and treat you like family.
At Roan Medical Center, we are committed to serving this community and providing the best possible care for our patients. We have 20 medical specialists on staff representing all areas of care in a clean and safe environment. You don't have to go out of town to receive excellence in outpatient services, so please don't delay. The care you deserve is right here, right now. For the moments of need, we are here for you.
Cash in your gold now to get the most money. With gold at all-time highs, TK Wheeler Jewelers in Oak Ridge is paying top dollar for your gold, silver, platinum, diamonds, and coins. And TK Wheeler Jewelers pays cash. Broken chains, mismatched earrings, bracelets, rings, old school rings, gold charms, old watches, and even coin collections. TK Wheeler Jewelers in Oak Ridge, where you get the most money now for your old gold. So cash in now at TK Wheeler Jewelers, 422 South Illinois Avenue in Oak Ridge.
We all know that real estate is location, location, location.
Our team at Just Homes Group, Realty Executives, has the true expertise, pairing buyers and sellers with the right opportunities.
Whether you're looking to buy or sell a home right here in Knoxville,
Lenoir City, Clinton, or Farragut. We have the expertise throughout every Knoxville surrounding area. Call Just Homes Group Realty Executives today.
At OEB Law, our home is your home. And your family is our family. And down here, family takes care of family. Giving back and helping out whenever needed. OEB Law is proud to be from East Tennessee. OEB Law feels like home.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is your gift destination. Shop the new plush selection for that special someone. We have Bath & Body Works popular fragrances and custom gift baskets too. Live and Let Live has a wide selection of gift and home decor for any occasion, from yard flags to selected jewelry, plus much more. We have Big Orange giftware always available year-round. And don't forget to enjoy a soda fountain treat while you shop. Live and Let Live Drugstore, Gift Shop, and Soda Fountain in downtown Rockwood.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back into the locker room chat. My name is John Williams, and my guest tonight is the new head football coach at Clinton Middle School, Ronnie Miller. And Ronnie, let's get into some Hawk talk here. And once again, congratulations on getting the position as the head coach of the Clinton Middle School Hawks. And if you would, I know a lot of people out there know you, but some may not. But go ahead and tell everybody out there a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'll start with my background. I'm an '87 graduate of Clinton High School, and so been a Dragon for a long time. Married my wife, Wendy. She's an Anderson County graduate, and we married, got two boys who are both grown. One plays football at Tennessee Tech, and then one is graduated, married, moved off, lives in Birmingham. So that's my family. For several years, I've been in ministry, but while I've been in ministry, I've been trying to coach football. I spent a few years down in Lenoir City. We lived down there and coached football there. And then spent some time at Hardin Valley, about 5 years at Hardin Valley Academy, and went back to Lenoir City. I've been to Clinton. This is my third time. I've coached at Clinton 3 different times. Right out of college, I actually helped coach back in '92, '93 when that team went to the state championship. Was assistant there, helping with mostly freshmen, but was a part of that for a couple of years. Coached 1 year in 2008 with Andy Shattuck, and then came back last year. Had taken a couple years off, and then came back last year to Clinton to coach with Coach Keith, and spent a year there. And then the middle school position came open, and I was about to hang it up and just say I don't want to coach anymore. And Coach Keith wanted somebody down there that kind of could connect the programs and do their offense and do some of the similarities. And I had familiarity with it, and so I went down to Clinton Middle School, and that's where we are now.
This is your first year as a head coach?
It is. I have 16 years of coaching experience as an assistant at the high school level, but this is my first head coach position and my first middle school position.
How you like that? Are you excited? I'm sure you are.
I am, and
Just taking over the program like that.
We got started late. We got hired in middle of May, and we had 5 days later we started spring practice. And so that was kind of rough. I wish we'd had a little more time, but that is what it is. Enjoying it so far. I wasn't sure, but middle schoolers are not as bad as everybody says they are so far. It's been a good experience up to this point.
So what are you doing now? Besides, I know you're the head coach. What are you doing? Are you at the school?
I will be. Yeah, I finished out the teaching at the high school, and now I'm going to Clinton Middle School. I'll be teaching there this fall.
What are you teaching?
Teaching a class. Clinton Middle School is a Clinton College and Career Middle School. That's the new. It's a new thing that they have. Trying to prepare kids for the future. Mm-hmm. And so the class I'll be teaching is a related arts class, but it's actually career exploratory. And what we do is we start teaching them about careers, teaching them how you get a career. Do you go to the vocational school? You go to, TCAT, the vocational education post-secondary, and do you want to go to get a degree at the university? So we start getting them in those thoughts and trying to help them start learning and making decisions that'll help them in the future.
Is that the name of the school now? Is it? I saw that online.
I don't know exactly the order, but it's Clinton Middle, College, and Career Ready. It's something like that. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but we're still Clinton Middle School Hawks. But
Okay, right.
that's the official title.
Okay, yeah, and Ronnie, I know you've wore a lot of hats in your life. I've known you since you was probably knee high to your brothers playing football, and I know you have a real good faith. You've been involved with the church, and you've done several things throughout your life. I think various jobs besides coaching. And also in education. Are you involved with the church? Any churches right now?
For the first time in about 20 years, I'm not on staff at a church. We attend a church in Knoxville right now, and getting involved there. But right now, we're not on staff. Just going to church and being like a regular church member, getting out there and trying to serve. The teaching and the football coaching is taking a lot of time. So right now, we're just taking a break from full-time ministry or even part-time.
I know you're a man of faith, and I think it's a great hire. You know football too, and to be able to reach out to those kids, just being involved with the church and everything, you can, speak to them.
Well, and that's my goal is to, it's especially at this middle school level, it's more than just football. They're trying to help these guys grow up, trying to help them learn lessons of life, and hopefully we'll show them the right way and a better way, a good way to try to handle things that come in your life. And I definitely don't preach to them, and I don't push Jesus, but I'll definitely will share, and hopefully the example I set every day is pointing them in the right direction.
So you mentioned your coaching career, and also what about your playing career? Did you play any in college?
I did not. I had a couple of opportunities to Maryville College and then Emory and Henry. Both were trying to get, but at the time, those two programs were, I'll never forget, I went to Maryville College and spent the weekend over there, and their facilities weren't as good as our brand new field house at Clinton High School in 1987. And so it was kind of disappointing, and followed a guy that I graduated with named Phil Holbrook. Phil went on scholarship to East Tennessee State University, and we went up there, and I went up there thinking I might walk on, and started enjoying life and quit working out and got out of shape and just never did pursue college football after that.
Did you go on to graduate from East Tennessee State?
I did not. My bachelor's degree is actually from Tusculum. Actually had to finish later, and then my teaching certification is through LMU. So.
Okay, I know you said you graduated Clinton in 1987, and you played on that 86 team. That was the Clinton's second playoff team in school history. I remember that team well. Y'all knocked off Carter in the first round. Carter was undefeated, and then y'all went to Carter and defeated them in the first round of the playoffs. Then you went on up to Jefferson County and played the Collins boys.
That's exactly it.
Ran into them. They were very tough back then.
Yeah.
But,
and they would have won the state that year had they not run into Halls, who won the state that year. So it's probably the two best teams in the area or in the state. But yeah, as a matter of fact, just segue into something I hadn't told you, but we're actually at the Clinton Oak Ridge football game this fall. I think it's October 2nd maybe, or something like that. September, I can't remember now. October 2nd, but the Clinton Oak Ridge game, home game, we're honoring the 35th anniversary of the year that season where we beat Oak Ridge for the first time in 15 years, I think it was. We hadn't beaten Oak Ridge in 15 years. We defeated them at home that year, 18-7. And it's 35 years this fall. And so we're going to honor that team on that night against Oak Ridge this year.
Well, that'll be awesome. I'm sure the Oak Ridge fans will like that.
Yeah, we like to remember those. We don't have a lot of wins, so we like to remember the ones we do have over the years.
Got to get that turned around, but also the 85 team you were on, that was a good team, and the 84 team, you was a sophomore. Some really good teams there in Clinton in the 80s.
Yeah. Joe, your brother played, I think. Didn't he play this senior year, I guess? Trying to remember.
No, he didn't play.
He played baseball, I guess. He was a baseball.
Started working a
Yeah.
little bit, but getting in the cars. But,
Yeah.
but anyway, let's talk about the Hawks. How many players you got out for the team right
Well,
now?
I have 36 right now, trying to get them all there. Some of them have been on vacation, and you know how it is with middle school, but I think if nothing changes between now and week 1 and 2 weeks, we'll have 36, 37 dressed out that first game.
Now you have 6th, 7th, and 8th graders?
Yeah, we have probably just, I can't tell you for sure, but 3 or 4 6th graders, not many at all. And probably the majority, we'll probably have about 20 8th graders, close to that, upper teens, and then 7th grade makes up the difference.
Are those 6th graders, are they able to play Optimus football?
Not and us. They have to do one or the other.
Okay.
Yeah. Can't do both at the same time.
But, going back to some of your personal life, your family, I just want to mention your parents, Chuck and Kathy Miller. You know, Chuck, your dad, long time, you know, very active in the Optimus Club, football, basketball, also Little League baseball, and your dad was a great man, and your mom as well, Kathy, you know, owned the Miller's restaurant, and
Yeah.
everybody's ate at for years,
Yeah.
and I just want to mention that.
That was my life. My mom's birthday was yesterday. She turned 79, so happy birthday to her.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad, your dad, of course, was out there coaching a lot too, and so I'm thankful for. We talk about it. The guys that I graduated with, we talk a lot about our dads, because they were so instrumental in coaching us, and we had the same 5 or 6 dads throughout our football career, and so it was exciting. We had great dads and great people who helped us growing up to learn to love sports and do it the right way, I believe.
Yeah, our dads had some good battles. I recall watching back in the day. Especially in Little League baseball.
What, the Police, and what'd your dad coach? What team? Toyota?
Southerners.
Southerners. Okay,
Yeah.
we were the Police was what
Yeah.
Dad coached for several years. So
David Hart, I remember him pitching for the Police, and John Miller played for the Southerners.
Yeah.
A lot of home runs being hit back then.
I bet.
How many starters you got back? Do you know from last year?
About 2. Well, we probably have 3 or 4 actually. Braylon Hayden is a young man who's going to be one of our best players. He's a receiver, defensive back. He started last year. Noah Witt, young man, plays linebacker and tailback, running back. He played last year a lot. Jackson Harrell played linebacker last year. I believe Camden Britton played a lot last year, started some. So we got 4 or 5 guys who come back from off that team that were starters last year that I can remember. There's probably more that I haven't been able to see that team much and remember, but we have a handful.
How did the season go last year?
I believe they won 1 game.
Was it just one?
I think. I've tried. No, we don't talk about it. We're moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
So we haven't talked about it. And
so you got a lot of new players, you think, came out?
Yeah, unfortunately and fortunately. Unfortunately for experience-wise, we're a young team. Probably 75% of our guys and girl have not played before up until this year, or I'd say probably 80% have played less than 1 year. So we're definitely an inexperienced team. But with that said, we've got a lot of athletes, and guys are working hard right now. So.
Got about an equal number of 7th and 8th graders, as you said.
A little bit more 8th graders, which is a good thing for hopefully for the high school next year. But we've got a good group of 7th graders as well. So.
Okay. All right, we're talking to Ronnie Miller, the head coach of the Clinton Middle Hawks, and we'll be right back. If phone lines are open, give us a call. And you're watching the Locker Room Chat.
At OEB Law, our home is your home. And your family is our family. And down here, family takes care of family. Giving back and helping out whenever needed. OEB Law is proud to be from East Tennessee. OEB Law feels like home.
At Roan Medical Center, we are committed to serving this community and providing the best possible care for our patients. We have 20 medical specialists on staff representing all areas of care in a clean and safe environment. You don't have to go out of town to receive excellence in outpatient services, so please don't delay. The care you deserve is right here, right now. For the moments of need, we are here for you.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is the premier pharmacy service location. Let our professional staff help with all your pharmacy needs, answer your questions, or help with your medication management with our Medicine on Time packaging system. We also offer medication therapy management to ensure you're receiving maximum benefits from your medication. Diabetes care is available with one-on-one consultations, or you can attend one of our monthly diabetes information classes. Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood.
We treat you like family at RMG. Bring your junk, cars, aluminum cans. We'll buy it on the spot and we'll pay you a lot. We treat you like family at RMG. Yeah, we treat you like family at RMG. Roan Metals, we treat you like family.
Roan Metals is located just off of Highway 27 between Herman and Rockwood.
Cash in your gold now to get the most money. With gold at all-time highs, TK Wheeler Jewelers in Oak Ridge is paying top dollar for your gold, silver, platinum, diamonds, and coins. And TK Wheeler Jewelers pays cash. Broken chains, mismatched earrings, bracelets, rings, old school rings, gold charms, old watches, and even coin collections. TK Wheeler Jewelers in Oak Ridge, where you get the most money now for your old gold. So cash in now at TK Wheeler Jewelers, 422 South Illinois Avenue in Oak Ridge.
Mulch & More in Midtown is your landscaping headquarters. They offer mulch, topsoil, all types of gravel, sand, rock, crab orchard stone, riprap stone, and limestone gravel. Mulch & More does light excavation work. Do you need a driveway repaired? They can do it. Plus, Mulch & More can do your water and sewer lines, French drains, and more with Ditch Witch services. So whether you only need a half cubic yard up to 20 cubic yards, Mulch & More can help you. Give Gary a call today at 865-234-7060 at Mulch & More in Midtown.
We all know that real estate is location, location, location.
Our team at Just Homes Group, Realty Executives, has the true expertise, pairing buyers and sellers with the right opportunities.
Whether you're looking to buy or sell a home right here in Knoxville,
Lenoir City, Clinton, or Farragut, we have the expertise throughout every Knoxville surrounding area. Call Just Homes Group, Realty Executives today.
Welcome back in to the locker room chat, and our guest is Clinton Middle School head football coach Ronnie Miller. And Ronnie, just tell me off the air, you have a scrimmage coming up.
Yes, sir. Next Thursday, 6:30, Oliver Springs Middle School is going to come to Clinton High School practice field over at the high school. We'll be scrimmaging there at 6:30 next Thursday.
And last weekend, y'all participated in a 7-on-7?
We did. We had an opportunity to go to La Follette Middle School. Coach Hayes up there invited us up there, and so us and La Follette and Jellicoe, Wartburg, and Norris went up. And we've never, it was kind of funny. I didn't realize it until we got there. My quarterback had never played in a game throwing the ball against a defense. He played in a sparing role last year, but just handed off the whole time, and hadn't really played much quarterback before that. And most of our guys had never played 7-on-7 before. I think I had 2 guys that had been on 7-on-7 competition somewhere, sometime. And so we went into it not sure how we would do and what we do, but our guys, they competed, did well. As the day went on, they got better, and I was tickled to death and pleased how well they played, and we competed. Norris is great at what they do. They know to throw the ball around. They've got an experienced quarterback, and we played them in the first game, and then we played them our last game, and it was amazing the difference in our guys, how well we competed, I think, in the latter game, just because I think we started getting comfortable what we were doing and did well. They worked hard, and I was proud of them.
Okay, and that's 7-on-7, and Have y'all put the pads on yet? I mean, full.
We got to go
helmet and
shoulder
everything?
pads today. We've been in helmet and shoulder pads today, the rest of this week, and then next week we go full pads. So today we got to pop shoulders a little bit and loosen them up, and then Monday we start in full pads, and then it was a scrimmage on Thursday.
Okay, and talk about your style of play this year. I know you mentioned earlier last year the team didn't throw as much. I think they ran like the wing tee. I believe they saw a few games, but talk about your style of play, offense, and as you mentioned earlier in the show that you're going to work with the coach Keith, Clinton's coach. Is that the plan? Just going to run the same type?
Exactly. We're just very simple. We're mostly in an I formation, no fullback and tailback, and our goal is to run the ball to open up the pass. And then I have to pass the ball because I have some great athletes and a great little quarterback that can throw the ball. So we're going to throw the ball, but the goal will be to hopefully, not be one-dimensional. We're hoping that we can run the ball just as well as we can throw the ball, and try to control the clock and move the ball down the field and score some touchdowns.
What about defense?
Defense, we're running the basic same as high school. We're running a 4-3 defense. Of course, we're trying to be a lot more simple than the high school. Coach Mitchell, Xavier Mitchell, who played at UT, is the defense coordinator at the high school now, and he's doing a great job, but his defense is pretty complex. And like I said earlier, with 75% of our having no experience, we're a lot simpler. And but we're running the same concept, 4-3 defense with 2 or 3 coverages, and we'll go from there.
I think that's good. Get on the same page. And everybody always talks about Maryville for years, from Little League on up, they run the same thing or whatever, but more familiar with it when they get older, and I think you see Anderson County doing that as well with their style of offense, and they do a great job there, and at Norse, Coach No, so that's good to see, I think. You mentioned Coach Mitchell, and now Xavier Mitchell, he come from Oliver Springs, right?
He did. He coached at Oliver Springs last, and then came to Clinton this year.
I knew heard of Coach Mitchell, but I didn't know that was him or not.
Yeah. And Coach Mitchell, of course, played at UT and spent some time. I'm not going to say where because I might make him mad, but he was in the NFL for a few years. Played in the league for a little bit, and he's definitely one of the good coaches over there at the high school. He's got a great group of guys coaching, and he's one of them for sure.
Talk about your staff. Who's on your staff this year?
Well, we're young, but I've got a couple of Clinton guys. A young man by the name of John Reese. John helped at the high school last year, graduated about 5 years ago, I think.
Yeah, I remember when he played.
Yeah, John is like I said, he coached at the high school last year, so he's very familiar with the offense that we ran at the high school last year and some of the stuff that we've transitioned, and he's been at the high school since spring practice, and he's been there and learning, and he knows all that. So he comes in with a lot of knowledge of the offense that the high school is running, that we're trying to run. And then I have a young man by the name of Jamal Booker. Jamal he's a Clinton grad, graduated about 4 years ago from Clinton. He had a brother that played as well. And I think originally they're out of Oak Ridge, but he played at Clinton, and he's helping us as well. And right now, it's just 3 of us. I was very. I didn't want some dads. You always get a dad who wants to coach or an uncle who wants to coach, and I don't like daddy ball, as we say. I want to be sure, and so I got some young guys who are eager and willing. They got more energy than I got, so I can make them do the stuff I don't want to do. But we're excited about the guys we have. Coach Reese is actually going to be working at Norwood. We have I forgot what it's called, a cooperative right now with Norwood and Clinton. So any Norwood middle school kid can play football at Clinton. And we only have, 2 or 3 this year. But Coach Reese is actually going to be in the building working as the ISS teacher at Norwood. So we have a presence in the school there, and then I'll be at the Clinton Middle School as well. So.
You mentioned your quarterback. Who is the quarterback?
Elijah Sexton is our quarterback. Great young man, great family, just natural gift of throwing the ball. He's a fast guy. His biggest weakness is he's still learning because he hasn't played a lot of quarterback. He hasn't been to all the camps. He hasn't played in the 7-on-7 league, so he doesn't have that experience. But when it's just God-given natural abilities to play quarterback, he's got a great arm. Throws a bullet on target and is quick, and so it's just getting him to make those reads and do the things he needs to do at quarterback. He's going to be an excellent quarterback for us, I think. He's an 8th grader, so I only get him 1 year before Coach Keith will get him next year.
Okay. What about running back position?
Our tailback is going to be a team effort. Noah Witt is one, and then Camden Britton is the other, and both of those two will be our starting tailbacks. Camden's a young man who can play about anything for us. There's probably be times when he'll be at receiver, tailback, and if I need to, I'll put him in at quarterback. He'll be starting safety as well. So Camden's all over the place, and then Noah will be running back, but he's also starting linebacker. So those two will be coming in and out for each other to give them a break on one side of the ball.
Yeah, I remember Camden Britton's name being called out several times last year during games, and
well, he's a legend grandson. You know, Archie Brummett's his grandfather. So Archie Brummett's an old Clinton Dragon guy. So he's got good genes, football genes.
Exactly. Mother Destiny, right?
Yes, Destiny's his mom. I know her. I've met her. Yeah, so that's Archie's daughter. Yeah.
So he's come from good genes. He's a good athlete. I've seen him play baseball as well.
Baseball player,
so,
yeah. Really good baseball player.
About the wide receiver position, you mentioned
Braylon Hayden. Braylon is one of our guys. Braylon's about 6'1", fast, athletic, can just make things happen. He's that kind of athlete, and I look forward to what he's going to do this year and in the future years. And then on the other side, our main starting receiver right now is a young man. His last name is Rice. You probably don't know who he is, and it's funny because he's about this tall, and Braylon's about this tall, but he runs a great route, catches the ball great, and does all the right things. We just hope he'll hit a growth spurt before too long and catch up to Braylon in height-wise.
As long as he can catch the ball, that's good.
Yeah.
What about you on the line play? Who are you looking for? Leaders on the
that's
line?
been our weakness. We don't have a lot of depth, and we've got Jackson Harrell, who Jackson has played in the running back. He's played as fullback and in the backfield for most of his career, and he has. We've moved him to guard. And I am so proud of him because he didn't necessarily want to move to guard. You know how it is, guy that's been running the ball. But he has done it, and he's working hard at it, and he's going to be one of our guards. And I've already told him, I said, if he'll come and do a great job at it, there's going to be a time where I'm going to put him in the backfield and let him run the ball some, maybe down on short yardage. But Jackson's a young man who's going to play guard for us. Levi Smith is a young man who's playing center. And if I can get him serious enough, he's always acting crazy and having a good time, which I appreciate. But he's playing center for us. John Braden, who's a 7th grader, big boy, 7th grader, who's going to do a great job at one of our guards. And then our 2 tackles are kind of up in the air right now. We're still working on trying to figure out who those 2 guys are. But we've got some guys. If we can stay healthy, they're going to do a great job for us.
You have a lot of those young men going both ways.
On our offensive and defensive line, probably a couple of them. Jackson is one who'll play guard and also play linebacker for us. And the others will probably be in the mix on defensive tackle positions. They'll rotate in and out, so they're not in every play, but they'll have to play some for us both sides of the ball for sure.
Taking a look at your schedule, we talked about it a little bit there early, opening up with
Robertsville,
out of Robertsville, then on the 12th, I believe we go to Loudon. How many games are on the schedule?
Well, we just have 7. We do have an open date in there, but we have 7 games that are all conference games.
They're all conference?
We have Robertsville and Jefferson, Loudon, Lenore City, CAK, Norris, and Spring City.
Spring City come on board last year, didn't they?
I believe so.
heard they
I believe
had
so.
a really big kid last year at Run the Ball.
They did. I think all the boys say he's about 17 last year. But he was apparently a monster in there. But he's gone. Hopefully they'll be average size now. So
that's a competitive conference, ain't it?
It really
also,
is.
You have Jefferson as well.
Yeah, we've played Jefferson. We've played Jefferson Robertsville, of course, since I think Clinton Middle and Clinton Junior Highs had a football team, and they're always competitive. Lots of athletes here in Oak Ridge. Norris has had a phenomenal team for several years. They're part of that machine up there that just gets some good ball players in. They've got some great athletes right now. Lenore City is a program that my kids were a part of when we lived in Lenore City for a few years, and they're a program that's got some great athletes. Loudon, their high school is winning lots of games, and CAK is always good. So it is a tough conference to be a part of, and hopefully we can have some success this year.
We're on with Coach Ronnie Miller, new head coach of the Clinton Middle School Hawks, and phone lines are open if you have a question or comment for Coach Miller. Ronnie, what's the goals this season for the Hawks? What's the goals?
Well, we haven't really talked about goals. It's that week-to-week stuff. Hope to win the games. Hope to win. We don't. They didn't hire me to make friends. They hired us to win football games, and hopefully in the process of that, we do all the other stuff. But if we don't win some football games, they're not going to want me around very long. And so goal is to win games, and hopefully we can compete. Even the games that we can't win, we compete for 4 quarters, and they know when the game's over with that Clinton's, like we said, trying to build a winning tradition again.
Yeah.
And that's the goal is to win football games.
And you're the first-year head coach, and what's your plans for the future? Just looking down the road, what do you want to see this program? How you want to see it grow?
Well, and I hope the goal is to make Clinton Middle School and Clinton High School both competitive again, and I think that starts. I think it really starts in the middle school. Coach Keith, I know this year is struggling. They don't have a lot of freshmen. Well, my goal is if I have 28th graders, that next year Clinton High School has 29th graders. I hope every one of them will go to Clinton High School and take what we've learned and the fun that we had and the winning that we did, and they'll take that tradition and go be a part of a 9th grade team and a JV team at the high school. And so I think the goal is to win at the middle school level and have success and help our kids grow so that next year when they go to the 9th grade and then 10th grade, they continue the tradition and make Clinton a competitive high school football program again like it's been in the past.
Do you think the COVID-19 that hit last year and, concussions, that's been a big story over the years in football, you think that's scaring away some of the student athletes?
No, I don't think that's a part of it. I think, like we were talking about earlier, John, when we were kids, we played Little League baseball in the summer, we played football in the fall, and played basketball in the winter, and then we started back over with baseball. Nowadays, sports have become year-round. Baseball, I passed a baseball Little League field in Clinton earlier, and there's a team out there practicing. They've got fall baseball, they have summer baseball, they have spring baseball. Basketball has become a year-round thing. They're playing basketball in the summer, and I think kids are narrowing it down and playing one sport more than they did when we were growing up. We played 3 sports, and you might have narrowed it down to 2, and by high school you might have narrowed it down to 1, but you may have played 2 at the same time. Nowadays kids aren't doing that. They're picking one direction and they're going in that direction even as young as 6, 7, 8 years old, and hitting travel ball and doing all that stuff, which that's fine if that's what you want to do, but I really like the kids that are well-rounded, that are participating in 2, 3, 4 sports, and I encourage that. I've encouraged that all summer. We had kids playing baseball, and I'm like, listen, I want you to be doing that. It's baseball season. It's pre-football season, so go play baseball and come with us when you can. And then when it's football season, I expect you to be here. And then as soon as it's over, I hope you go to basketball. And so I think we encourage that, but I don't think we see it as much as we used to.
Right. Hopefully, I think that's starting to come back a little bit. I've seen more kids playing the different sports, so hopefully that'll continue. I know coaches like yourself, they encourage that.
Yeah, and you know, college coaches, I've read it numerous times how most college athletes are multi-sport athletes. They don't just pick one sport, but they play at least two, maybe three.
And Clinton High School field is currently under construction. They're switching from natural grass to turf. And what's your thoughts on that, turf or grass?
You know, Clinton football, I believe I give Ron Brown credit for it back in the 80s of working with the city and getting the Clinton football field in the shape it was at. That field is second to very few high school fields with the grass that was there. And it was thick, it's soft, and it was tradition. But at the same time, going to turf, first of all, most of the schools now in this area have turf. All Knox County, all Sevier County, all of Blount County, you know, all the schools are going to turf. And so it's just one of those things where if we're the only grass field, is it benefiting or is it not? Is it hurting or is it helping? It also gives us the ability to use it more often. It doesn't get damaged in the rain. We can go down there and practice. The high school can go down there and practice because it doesn't hurt the effective field. It's fine no matter how many times it gets used. So in the long run, I think it's a great thing. I'm a traditional kind of guy and appreciate the tradition of that grass field, and a lot of guys were upset. But I think ultimately it's the best thing for Clinton football to go to the turf.
There's a lot of benefits with it, I believe.
Yeah.
As far as safety-wise, do you know any correlation on injuries one way or the other, turf or grass? Is it more or less?
The old turf, like when I was in high school, we were talking about me earlier, we played at Murfreesboro Riverdale and played at MTSU Stadium when it had that turf that was carpet, and it was awful. But today's turf, they've come so long, it's so soft, it gives, and it's just like playing on grass for the most part. I think it's just as good.
Right. See a lot of the professional stadiums, but most like that field turf, you know.
Yeah.
Aren't
Yeah.
They? Yeah. So. Okay. Clinton, I have a question to ask you. Somebody wanted me to ask you about the Hawks or Dragons. Are you thinking about maybe switching the Hawks name over to the Dragons? I know Clinton Middle baseball go by the Dragons. Is the football thinking about maybe switching over to Dragons?
The Clinton Middle School baseball team is not affiliated with the school right now. They're a separate entity. They're not a school sports TSSAA sanctioned sport. So they were able to do that. The Clinton Hawks, basketball is still the Hawks. One of the things we talked about is trying to make it the Dragons, just because we were bringing Norwood kids and Clinton Middle School kids to make one team, rather than Norwood kids didn't want to be Hawks and vice versa. So we've talked about that. That discussion's been had. We thought it might be something that we can do. It still might be something we do in the future. Just it takes more than just a coach deciding or an athletic director. It has to go to the administration, then it has to go to the central office and the school board. It's a bigger deal than just changing it. And so I think it's being worked on and checked into. But right now we're the Hawks. And
I know a few years ago they switched the colors to Clinton colors, orange and black, and I think now last year they went back to the blue and black.
I think it's been blue, orange, and black. They've always kept a little blue in there sometimes, just to keep that. So we're going to be doing that same thing, orange, black, and blue, and trying to build that tradition towards Clinton Dragons.
Before we go, we got about a minute left. You mentioned that Al Rod is coming back to take over the track program.
Yeah, I found out today, talked to Coach Rod, he's coming back to Clinton High School. Of course, he was a longtime Anderson County track coach, and he's coming to Clinton to try to help build that program back up. So excited to have him to be back with the Dragons. It's been a long time since he's at Clinton.
Yeah, that's great news for the track program. That'll help football athletes as well. For Ronnie Miller, head coach Clinton Middle, I'm John Williams, and we thank you for watching the Locker Room Chat, and we'll see you next week.